Hi, my friends. We continue our playlist. Let's translate. Это не противоположное по значению слово. It isn't the opposite word. У них то же самое значение. They have the same meaning. They have the same meaning. Он не чувствует себя рассерженным или злым. He doesn't feel angry. He doesn't feel angry. Он вовсе не жестокий. He isn't cruel at all. He isn't cruel at all. Он очень добрый. He is very kind. Он неаккуратный водитель или неосторожный водитель. Он неосторожный водитель. He is a careless driver. He is a careless driver. Or he isn't a careful driver. He isn't a careful driver. Далее, с помощью отрицания говорим «это нелогично». It isn't logical. И в одно слово it's illogical. Этот глагол неправильный. С помощью отрицания. Этот глагол неправильный. This verb isn't regular. Он неправильный. It's irregular. This verb isn't regular. It's irregular. Он водит неосторожно. He drives carelessly. He drives carelessly. Он такой неосторожный водитель. He's such a careless driver. He's such a careless driver. Он водит очень осторожно. He drives very carefully. Он не голодный. He isn't hungry. He isn't hungry. It isn't the opposite word. They have the same meaning. He doesn't feel angry. He isn't cruel at all. He is very kind. He is a careless driver. He isn't a careful driver. It isn't logical. It's illogical. This verb isn't regular. It's irregular. He drives carelessly. He is such a careless driver. He drives very carefully. He isn't hungry. Этот вывод не логичный. This conclusion, скажем, с помощью отрицания в начале, isn't logical. Or this conclusion is illogical. У меня постоянная работа. I have a permanent job. I have a permanent job. Она не временная. It isn't temporary. It isn't temporary. Это не самый лучший сценарий. It isn't the best scenario. Это самый худший сценарий. It's the worst scenario. It's the worst scenario. Это неэффективно. Скажем с помощью отрицания. Это неэффективно. It isn't effective. Или it's ineffective. It's ineffective. Ответ не очевиден. The answer isn't obvious. The answer isn't obvious. Не так легко понять, что делать. Не так легко понять. It isn't so easy to understand. Что делать? What to do. Это психологическая проблема. It's a psychological problem. It's a psychological problem. Не так легко найти это. It isn't so easy to find it. It isn't so easy to find it. Это невежливо. It isn't polite. Or it's impolite. It isn't polite, it's impolite. Это небезопасное место. It isn't a safe place. It isn't a safe place. This conclusion isn't logical. This conclusion is illogical. I have a permanent job. It isn't temporary. It isn't the best scenario. It's the worst scenario. It isn't effective. It's ineffective. The answer isn't obvious. It isn't so easy to understand what to do. It's a psychological problem. It isn't so easy to find it. It isn't polite. It's impolite. It isn't a safe place. Очень опасно жить здесь. Очень опасно. It's very dangerous. Жить здесь. To live here. It's very dangerous to live here. Или скажем, очень опасно находиться здесь. It's very dangerous to stay here. Это аморально. It's immoral. Их поведение аморально. Their behavior is immoral. Their behavior is immoral. Далее, с помощью отрицания скажем. Это не важно. It isn't important. Or it's unimportant. It's unimportant. Он не злой. He isn't angry. Сумка не тяжелая. The bag isn't heavy. Она легкая. It's light. The bag isn't heavy, it's light. Далее, с помощью отрицания скажем: это невозможно. It isn't possible. Or it's impossible. It's impossible. Не так легко сделать это. It isn't so easy to do it. It isn't so easy to do it. У меня временная работа. I have a temporary job. Она не постоянная. It isn't permanent. I have a temporary job. It isn't permanent. Я не чувствую себя разочарованным. I don't feel disappointed. Я полон оптимизма. I am full of optimism. I am full of optimism. Он не чувствует себя голодным. He doesn't feel hungry. He doesn't feel hungry. It's very dangerous to stay here. It's immoral. Their behavior is immoral. It isn't important. It's unimportant. He isn't angry. The bag isn't heavy. It's light. It is impossible. It's impossible. It isn't so easy to do it. I have a temporary job. It isn't permanent. I don't feel disappointed. I am full of optimism. He doesn't feel hungry. Эта вещь недопустимая. С помощью отрицания скажем: эта вещь недопустимая. This thing isn't acceptable. Or this thing is unacceptable. This thing is unacceptable. Мой результат не блестящий. My result isn't brilliant. Но я не унываю. Но я, but I, не унываю, don't give up. My result isn't brilliant, but I don't give up. Я не чувствую себя уставшим. I don't feel tired. Я полон энергии. I am full of energy. I don't feel tired. I am full of energy. Как мы можем понять это? How can we understand it? Тебе нужно смотреть на контекст. You need to look at the context. You need to look at the context. С помощью отрицания скажем: это не рационально. It isn't rational. Or it's irrational. It's irrational. This thing isn't acceptable. This thing is unacceptable. My result isn't brilliant, but I don't give up. I don't feel tired. I am full of energy. How can we understand it? You need to look at the context. It isn't rational. It's irrational. My friends, thank you. We continue our playlist.